Meeting them in Manchester.
Meeting them. Meet. I got gravel in my eye, guys. My paranoia or my phobia of corneal abrasions is kicking in.
Do something cool.
What?
Do something cool.
What is up, everybody? Aaron and I were off to our third Meet Me in Manchester. We had gone the last 2 years. This year was going to be a little different on Friday. What you are seeing is all the wildfire smoke. Because of that, a lot of people bailed. So in the past, we had parked our car in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and then ridden the 25 or so miles to the farm where the event takes place. This year, we were going to drive directly to the farm as parking wouldn't be as much of an issue, and then just do a ride from there. You can see we stopped off here at Holmes Brewing. It was one of their locations we actually haven't been to, but Aaron wanted a coffee, and then we grabbed a little bit of beer for the trip. When we got to the farm, we decided let's get everything set up, and then we would go say hi to everybody and set out for our ride. Aaron had taken a route that they had that was going to be the short route for the next day and modified it a little bit, and that's what we decided to do on this evening. You could see it looks pretty smoky, but it wasn't as bad as it was actually back at home in Ohio, where you could really smell the smoke in the air. I don't know, just for me, it doesn't really bother me that much at all. So I know some people want to tell you what you should do with your life, but if it doesn't bother you, it doesn't bother you. And trust me, I've done enough things that are worse that a little bit of smoke is not the thing that's going to take me down.
Hi, babe.
Tell us what's going on.
Well, in case the viewers have forgotten, this is what I look like when I ride a bike. I mentioned to him earlier that I'm facing a triple whammy: humidity, smog, smoke, and extremely out of shape. So
It was a really humid evening. I think that affected our going more at party pace than anything else that was going on. But as Aaron said, and as you've been watching the video, she just hasn't been riding her bike as much this summer. We did go to these trails. They were really interesting. We didn't know what they were going to be. It was almost like a cyclocross course because they felt kind of like hiking trails through a meadow and a little bit of woods, but there were trails that were marked that you were allowed to ride your bikes on. We accidentally did go down one of the hiking trails and stopped and turned around. But yeah, just kind of unique and not like full-on mountain biking, but definitely not a bike path type situation either. When we got back, it was just an evening of hanging out. First up by the pop-up tents where Frank was cooking dinner, hot dogs, and then we all moved down to the fire for a little while. So yeah, just a great night of catching up with old friends that I know from this event, people that I know from other events, and then also, again, just some of the internet friends that we get to meet in person. Rollout for the ride was at 9 a.m. It had rained overnight, I guess pretty good, and that knocked down all the smoke. We actually had blue skies. The weather on this day, it was a little bit cooler. It was still warm. It's July. It was still humid, but yeah, it was a really nice day for riding. It was just, yeah, so pleasant to wake up and see that we were going to have really good weather. The majority of the group was doing the 50-mile ride. Like as mentioned, there were 2 shorter ones, and then there was a longer 100-mile one, 100-ish mile one. That's what our friend Ames was doing, but she was going to meet up with us later down the road anyways. As you can see, these are just some of the best gravel roads for riding. They're really nice because a lot of it is wooded, so you're getting the shade. There are sections that you're out more by farm fields, but it's not the whole ride is exposed. The other thing out here is the roads aren't super climby or super steep, but they're always rolling, so it's a little more fun than just riding something completely flat. I think a lot of people's impression of Michigan is that there's no hills at all, but this is all really nice and curvy and undulating, so it just makes for some absolutely perfect riding. A good chunk of the group stayed together for probably the first half of the ride. Made it a lot of fun hanging out and chatting with everybody. This section is always really fun. It's this sandy double track section, no cars obviously. It's fun to ride down through. There's some parts to really get going, but just like a lot of places in Michigan, you do have to be careful not to slip out on the sand.
Forgot the helmet. If I don't hit my head, I'll be happy about it. It's nice and comfortable riding without a helmet.
That Watkins Lake part of the ride is always one of my favorite through the nature preserve. There's always birds and wildlife to check out. Just really pretty road over the lake. And then that always signals too that we are getting close to one of my absolutely favorite parts of the ride, which is getting out to Wampler's Lake, which we will end up going for a swim at. few miles before lunch, I took off on my own, kind of worked my way through some of the groups. I just felt like riding hard for a minute, and I knew we were going to be getting back together to stop for lunch at the distillery anyways. This is a distillery we've stopped at both of the other years. One of the things is Manchester does have some other restaurants. They also have a brewery, but the brewery is usually closed because Manchester has this big chicken broil going on, and it seems like the entire town and region come out for it. They also modified the route after we left the distillery because they wanted to avoid some of that traffic, and it was actually a really good improvement. We rode through downtown Manchester like we normally do, but then we broke off on a bike trail, and off of that bike trail there was some optional single track. So I had actually stopped to fill my bottle and use the restroom at the park, and then I got caught up with Kevin and Jade and a couple other people. So Erin decided she was just going to ride on for a while, and we were going to hit the single track, and then I would try and catch her down the road. This is actually some of the chicken broil traffic right here. It's crazy. We didn't go by the actual location today, but you see it. It's just all the grills out, all the chickens. It's pretty wild. What an interesting event. Last year we took time reading how many pounds of coleslaw and potato salad and everything they serve. I don't remember the numbers, but it was pretty crazy. As you can see in the corn here, it was so windy at the end of the ride, and of course it happened to be one of the longest, straightest roads we were on, so just straight into a headwind at the end of the ride. It's actually where we also caught up with Erin, and she was definitely getting ready to be done. That was kind of a harsh thing to have happen, like right at the end where you're already been riding all day, and then you're straight into a headwind for a couple miles. When we got back, it was more hanging out, just kind of like the night before. We hung out up around the pop-up tents for a while and then later worked our way down to the fire. This was also pizza night, so got a bunch of pizza picked up and had a great pizza party. One thing that does have to be mentioned is the mosquitoes on the farm are just horrible. Had to reapply mosquito repellent multiple times. It's just like a fact of life. You're out in the woods in Michigan in the summer. But yeah, they were as persistent as I've ever seen mosquitoes. So thanks again to Frank and Jade for organizing the event, to Kevin and our camp hosts who allowed us to use their property. So just an awesome weekend. Again, just said hanging out with great people, doing great bike riding, some nice camping, lighting stuff on fire. Anyways, next up is our last big trip of the summer. I'm going to have a setup video for that, and then we will be on the road for a week. So look forward to that coming up, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.